everyone, Kayla here, and this is What the Kink, a natural hair channel where I share my personal hair journey and tips, tricks, and product reviews to help you with your own. And hopefully today's video is really helpful because I wanted to make an unofficial guide to Soultanicals Deep Conditioner. And what makes this guide unofficial is that though I have tried many Soultanicals Deep Conditioners, I have not tried them all, so that's why it cannot be an official guide, right? So some general comments about all Soultanicals conditioners before I get into the actual specifics of, individuals and whatnot. All Soultanicals deep conditioners work extremely well with water. You add water to your hair and it doesn't immediately slough the conditioner off. Second, they all have pretty decent slip when you compare them to other products outside of Soultanicals. Now, of course, if you compare them inside of Soultanicals, some of them have more slip than others. The third thing is that they all kind of like foam up a little bit. So when you're brushing your hair or whatever, it kind of foams up and then it kind of like slings everywhere. I don't know, it's because they're like more of a thinner consistency and they work so well with water that causes them to do that. And the last thing I want to say about all of them in general is that a lot of their deep conditioners boast some sort of scalp benefit, but they don't really instruct you to put them on your scalp. So that just might be an interesting, fact or thing. So the first thing I wanted to get into with the categorization of these conditioners is grain or non-grain. Soultanicals puts a lot of like Ayurvedic powders and herbs and things in their conditioners, and so naturally that causes them to have a little bit of a grainy texture. This doesn't bother me. I don't really care, and most of the grains dissipate as you put them in your hair. But some people are averse to that, so I wanted to kind of have this be the first, the first checkpoint, the first gate to get through. So I do have listed here on my iPad the ones that I've tried that have grains or are not grainy. So first of all, the ones that are grainy, that's the Shebe Ginger, the Hibiscus Hair Healer, and Glide and Go Deep. All of them have grains. The ones that do not have grains that I've tried, the Monoi Moisture Slip, the Fro Despair, and the Ambunu Super Fro. I keep calling it Ambuno because of the Super Fro part with the O on the end. Child, I'm gonna get through this video and try to pronounce it as best I can. But yes, so if that's something that's gonna bother you, there's a distinction. Another category that I know a lot of people care about is protein versus protein free. But a note about Soultanicals deep conditioners is that though they have ones that have protein in it and they have ones that don't have protein, the ones that I've tried, I looked, none of them have protein like super high on the ingredients. None of them have like a mega grouping of like tons of proteins. So none of their conditioners are like hardcore protein treatments. They would be more so like ideal for balancing the protein and moisture in your hair. If you're someone who likes to have a moisturizing conditioner with protein ingredients, the Soultanicals deep conditioners are definitely for you because they're not going to hit your hair with a really hard dose of protein. But just for information purposes, the protein-free ones that I've tried, Shebe Ginger, Monoi Moisture, Hibiscus Hair Healer, and of course Ambunu. The ones that I've tried that have protein, that's Fro Despair and Glide and Go Deep. But as I said before, they're more of like a balancing type conditioner. The protein's not gonna hit your hair real hard. So here's a couple of individual notes about the products. Shebe Ginger and Ambunu Super Fro are probably the best smelling conditioners that I have tried from Soultanicals. They smell so good. The Shebe Ginger has like a holiday scent in my mind. It gives me very much fall candle. It's giving you fall season. It's like a ginger snap cookies, spicy. And so in the summertime, I wouldn't see myself like being on the same wavelength. Not saying I wouldn't use it, but it wouldn't be like mentally connecting with me there. Whereas the Ambunu Super Fro, it's spicy and like in a potpourri kind of way. And it doesn't necessarily hit me as like holiday though. It just smells good. So they are probably the best smelling, y'all, compared to the other ones. The other ones, they are okay smelling or they're kind of generic smelling, but those two, oh my God, they smell so good. As far as ones that I found that have the most slip, I have to give that to Fro Despair and the Monoi Moisture. Those two have excellent slip. I have repurchased those tons of times. I have purchased salon sizes of both of them. So slippery. If that's like the main selling point for you, get those two. And speaking of slip, Hibiscus Hair Healer for me has the least slip. You have to apply like tons more of the product than the other ones. And then I also find that it rinses really squeaky as if you've cleansed your hair. So that could be off-putting for some people. I wouldn't say my hair was just like totally dry and I had to hit it with another conditioner. Definitely not, but it definitely has a squeaky rinse as though it cleaned a little. And that may have to do with the powders that are in there, because Soultanicals is not afraid to use powders that have cleansing abilities, as they did with the Super Fro and Bunu. That one doesn't leave your hair super squeaky like the hair healer, but it does like leave a little bit like maybe I shampooed my hair feel. And then if the Soultanical stuff is like a little too differenter for you, you're like, okay, all these herbs and all this, and the conditioner is a natural color and there's grains in there or whatever. If you just want something that's as close as possible to normal conditioner, I would have to say the Monoi Moisture deep conditioner that they offer is probably the closest. It has a standard deep conditioner color. At least the last time I used it, the texture is similar to a regular conditioner, and it has really awesome slip. So if you can't get with all the little natural, Monoi Moisture Slip is the one that you want to see. Many of these conditioners actually have individual reviews on my channel, so I'm just going to pick 2 random ones and I'm going to link them over to the side so that you can stay on my channel. It really does help me out and support me when you continue to watch videos on my channel. I will start to appear on your home screen. And speaking of screens, invite me to your subscriptions screen, your subscriptions page, by hitting the subscribe button if you enjoy my content. And I will talk to you in the next one.